Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna just get right into the review for this awesome watch. It's a Calibre 2100, and this will be my fourth time reviewing this particular watch. Not this particular watch, but the family of watches that this come from. And I'm gonna just start this video. I know I'll do a lot of discussion on watches, but you ever been to you ever see a watch that someone else wears, or you've seen it on TV, and like a Rolex Submariner, for instance, and you think, there's no way a watch like that costs 8 grand or 10 grand, and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I would ever pay that much money for that watch, because a watch just tells time, it's just a functional thing. And then you go into like a Tourneau or a watch store, a Rolex shop or something like that, and you happen to see the Rolex Submariner, I'm using that for example, and you pick it up, and you hold it in your hands and you try it on and you realize, like, wow, it's beautiful. This watch is worth $8,000 or $10,000 or whatever money, they're charging for it. And you're thinking to yourself, the first thought that comes to the back of your mind is, if I had that money in my pocket right now, I'd buy this watch. And I think the translation, or the thing that's lost with looking at a watch from afar and holding it, is when you hold the watch and you try it on, and you look at it, you push the pushers, you play with the crown, whatever, you realize it's a piece of art. It's beautiful, everything's precise, everything fits together, and it's like looking at a Picasso or something, and might look different on the internet or look different in a newspaper or a magazine, but once you see it in person, you realize, wow, that's worth $12 million, or something about it just comes out. And I think the same thing is true with this watch. I've been reviewing this watch for about a decade now, since I bought the first one back in 2011, and I actually waited. When I purchased the first 2100 Panda face with the white dial, it was only then I realized there's about a whole lot of other versions of that. Steel, it was steel with mineral crystal. They had sapphire crystal, stainless steel, different types of titanium. But this one with a titanium carbide coated white dial is the one I wanted, and I put it in my eBay search back in 2011, and a few weeks ago it came up. I got the email right from eBay after 7 years of nothing, that this watch had come up and someone was selling it from Norway. So I jumped in it. I paid a lot of money to get this shipped from Norway to New York, because I always was interested in this watch. And even if I don't keep this watch, I always wanted to make sure it existed, because it was always very elusive. I believe on WatchUSeek on the forums, since 2006, there's only one mention of this watch, and some person bought it back in, I think, 2009, I believe, or 2008, and no one knows where that person lived or where they purchased it from, but I think they went on the forum saying they just bought it and it was an awesome watch. And that was the end of the thread, and not much else was mentioned on this watch. And funny enough, with the titanium Panda face down, you usually hear mention of this one a lot more than the white face one. This is an American market watch that you see everywhere in the US and maybe Europe as well. But you never see the titanium white dial mentioned at all. So it's a watch that literally, like I said in my unboxing video, it doesn't exist. And even if you go to a Citizen outlet or a Citizen store and you mention a watch like this, or you ask about it, no one knows about it. It's like, it's not even on the books. It's not even in the Citizen encyclopedia or the website or the archives. It's just does not exist. And you'll probably get that. But this watch did exist at a time, and I'm going to go right into reviewing it. So let's flip the camera around and see why this watch I think is worth maybe $1,000. It's just a beautiful piece that's very different than the other ones I've owned. Now, before I even continue to talk about the watch I own, the watch in front of us, it's actually this one, the AV0020-55A. And these are the different white Panda family, different models. This was the first one I owned, which is the mineral crystal and steel with the polished etched case back. The case back always gets scratched up on that one, the polished one. And I did a first review on that back in 2011 or 12. And then I went on and bought this one in 2012. And this was actually, I didn't know what this was, but the seller told me it had a sapphire crystal. And it didn't. It had a mineral crystal, and I did a whole video on the mineral to sapphire upgrade. And I eventually sold this one, and I didn't have the watch for a while. And then I saw this one had come up, and I purchased this one a year ago. And this one did come with a sapphire crystal. This is a European market only, and I purchased this one. It came from Valencia, Spain. And I had this one for a year, but I sold it off because I realized that the drawback with this watch is that in a stainless steel, it's very heavy to wear and very uncomfortable. So I find I wasn't wearing it as much anymore, especially since I got my Omega Speedmaster. I didn't have time to wear a heavy watch all the time. So I sold it off, and then lo and behold, after 7 years of having that in my search engine on eBay, this one came up, which is the 2055A. Now, the 2055A is closely related to that gray dial one I showed you. And there's two variations of that. There's a European market 2055H, and that looks like this. And you see the difference there is that this doesn't have titanium in it, the sub-dial, 6 o'clock sub-dial there, whereas the US version that's titanium with mineral crystal and an etched case back has the titanium there. And this titanium, I believe, is just regular titanium. It's not the TICC, the titanium carbide coating carbide coated treated titanium, which is similar to DLC or Duratect. I'm not very familiar with those terms. And even if you search online extensively, you're not going to get a clear answer on what the difference is between Duratect, DLC, and titanium carbide coated as Citizen uses the materials. Now, understanding the materials is simple, but the way Citizen uses it is not very clear. And I even went online to print out from the Citizen website. They now have information on how they manufacture their titanium and what they do to coat it. So you could go to the Citizen website or Google Titanium Citizen, and you get like this very helpful thing, and it talks about all the materials there. So put that to the side. Now, you also have different titanium models, but the one I'm interested in is this one, which is awesome. Now, titanium on the 2100, it comes in at 121 grams or 4.2 ounces. It's very, very lightweight, and that's one of the things when you saw my unboxing video, the minute I saw it on a watch pillow when I took it out of the box, I wasn't impressed. I was only impressed after I picked it up and held it and turned it around and realized this is a beautiful watch. Even though I've seen it before, I've owned it numerous times in the same design and styling. I've owned it before, so it didn't surprise me opening it, taking it out of the box, but it did surprise me when I held it and I realized it was very different than the other 2100 watches I've owned. Now, the stainless steel variation is 182 grams or 6.4 ounces, and you can see the weight difference is about 2 ounces there, which is pretty substantial increase in weight from the titanium to the steel. And this titanium is the titanium carbide coating. It's also, you could call it DLC or Duratect, and DLC means diamond-like carbon. So I don't know, it's terminology. I don't really understand how Citizen uses it. I do understand what they are, but I don't know how and when what watches Citizen uses those different applications. Now, going over the details of this watch before I put it on, I'm actually gonna bring the camera in closer. So looking at this watch close up, I realized key differences between this and the stainless steel versions of this watch. And the pushes are much smoother. First of all, you hold it, it's very lightweight, but it's a better built watch. The qualities almost seem like this is one of the handmade ones that's made by hand. And I know my camera's gonna go in and out of focus because of the polish on the watch, but it's very, very beautiful. Even the stainless steel clasp, the titanium clasp is done very well. It's different than my other steel versions that I've used to own prior to this one. And they remind you that it's a titanium watch by marking the clasps there. Citizen titanium. Now the case back is also very beautiful. It's an engraved case back, and you'll see bolt. I'm trying to focus this so you guys could see. You'll see on the case back it says titanium as well as sapphire on the case back. So you guys could see there it's sapphire and titanium on the other side by the pusher there. And this is a Citizen Promaster Eco Drive, and it's very well done. The titanium engravement, the titanium being engraved, I feel is much better than the steel. It looks better, it feels better. And now we come to the main part of the watch, and the dial is done beautifully. It's a white dial with the Panda subdials, the black Panda subdials, which is contrasting the white background. But what makes this watch special, and I realized it, is the pushes are very much smoother than the stainless steel versions. And I believe all this is titanium, the buttons, the pushes, and the crown, all titanium. It's a screw down crown. And it's one of the few watches I've owned with a screw down crown, but the crown in titanium is a little bit different than the stainless steel version that I owned. And you could see there how, sorry guys, my camera is not focusing on that, but you can see how the crown is, it looks different than the stainless steel version. The way it's polished, I feel it's much nicer. It's there, you can see it there now. It's very well done. And the movement of the second hand is a mecha quartz, or something called like a mecha quartz, which is a mechanical quartz watch, or a quartz watch that has a mechanical movement of the chronograph second hand. It's really smooth. I don't think I've owned a 2100 with pushers this smooth. And that lends to the build quality of the watch, or, you know, it's the build quality of the watch being expressed through the functions of the pushers there. It also has the flyback chronograph, which flies back to 0 right there, which is really cool. The screw down crown screws out. Could move away from the camera. I'm hitting my camera on my phone, and I can never get this. And it's a brand new watch, so the everything is really tight on it. Did I screw it out all the way? So there you go. And hackable seconds, so when you pull it out to set, it stops the second hand, which is good. It's a high functioning piece. So you could set the seconds there, which is cool. And the date, you could set that by pushing it in halfway or something. So let's screw that down. I'm gonna have to reset that anyway. And on this side, by the 8 o'clock dial, you have the alarm, so you could push that to turn the alarm off or on. And the alarm is pretty loud on this watch, which is kind of cool. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can get the alarm to go off while I'm doing this video. So I'm gonna move this. You could also rotate this dial and move the red skeletal hand into a place that you want the alarm to go off in. So it could be by the hour, it could be anywhere in between the hours. So it's kind of cool. So let's see, I'm gonna put it right there. So maybe it should go off. And I feel the alarm went off last night. It's much louder than my previous stainless steel version. So it's beautiful. Everything, the function of this watch feels higher quality than the stainless steel versions. The bracelet it's very quiet. It's not as loud as the stainless steel bracelet. And the titanium in the bracelet is so lightweight, it feels like the watch doesn't have a bracelet when you hold the case body. It just feels like the case body, and then these bracelets are like sort of very lightweight. And the titanium carbide coating looks like it's gonna hold up. Well, I'm kind of scared to wear this because I don't want it to scratch, because titanium on the Citizen watches, it is known to scratch, even though it's very hard and very scratch resistant. People have said online that it scratches really easy. So I have had experiences with the 2100 class, but you guys seen my previous videos, and I know this class, because of the size of it, it scratches easy on hard surfaces on the table. I have a different titanium, my Pathfinder, so you guys could kind of see how titanium wears over the years. But this Casio Sport titanium watch is, I've worn this rock climbing, boating, whatever, and you can see how the only markings are from the clasp itself, which is why I'm really scared to wear this, because I know if I don't scratch it, it might scratch itself where the clasp hits the, let's see if it's scratched already. Where the clasp sort of overlaps that, you'd get marks there. But yeah, like I said, it's a really good watch. I don't know, I can't even recommend it, because I don't know where one would buy a watch like this today. Your only bet is to get the European version, which is this one, the gray 55H. to get the same materials, I guess, as this watch. But this is a very unique watch in the build quality. It's hot. It just surpasses the stainless steel brothers from the family. It's just a better build quality watch. My only gripe on this watch, now that my previous only gripe for the 2100 was the weight and the comfort of wearing a steel watch that was just heavy and solid, was the weight of it. It just wasn't comfortable all day. But now the watch is very comfortable all day. But I kind of wish the titanium had a bit of polish to it. It does look like titanium. It doesn't look like stainless steel. I'll put my Mega stainless steel next to it. So I kind of wish it had a bit more polish to the titanium. The titanium doesn't have that white polish of the stainless steel. It is polished and it's very nicely, it looks nice, but I just wish it was more silver than gray. Now, that's the weird fact about this watch. It could be both. It's a chameleon watch in that it looks gray in some light-ins, but in other light-ins, it looks like it's just a silver stainless steel watch. So it's weird. It plays in a light on how you look at it, how it's reflecting the light, but you can see there, it's just beautiful, like the links. I believe this is a handmade watch, and these 2100s are known to be handmade, but this is definitely a handmade watch. It feels handmade. It feels the parts were assembled by hand. And like I said, it's a rare watch, and it's just sad that Citizen doesn't, make it or sell these anymore. And the thing is, this is so rare. It's rarer than the limited edition watch. And before I end the video, I'm just going to go into the sapphire crystal on this watch. Is very different than the stainless steel sapphire crystal in that it does have some sort of AR coating that reflects like a bluish greenish hue. And I've only ever seen that on one other Citizen watch, a limited edition. I think it was a BL0003 limited edition H610. I had that in one of my older videos where I reviewing the Nighthawk, Promaster Nighthawk variations. But that's it. That's a beautiful watch. I highly recommend getting it. I might not keep this. I don't know. I have a lot of watches, and my Mega Speedy is my Grail watch that I've been wearing every day. And I also recently purchased Casio Edifice Panda, which suits me a lot more than a watch like this. I tend to wear this very well most of the time. And I think if I was to have these two watches in my collection, as beautiful as this one is the smaller, the 39 milliliter dial face, suits my personality and kind of what I wear more so than a big, hefty looking watch. Again, the watch is lightweight, but it's actually probably lighter than my Speedy. But it is a big 44, 45 watch to wear. And I could only see myself wearing this with shorts and a t-shirt, and not so much like a business shirt or a long sleeve sweater or something like that. But like I know a lot of people like big watches, but I'm gonna put this on eBay and just sell this back, I think, guys. But it is a beautiful watch. I wish I could keep it, but I just can't wear it because of that. I'm just worried that would scratch, and that is just so beautiful. I don't want to scratch this up, but I'd rather just see it go to someone else that will wear it more than I do. I don't want to put this away in my collection and not look at it again. I'd rather this be worn and loved by someone else. But I'm so glad to get my hands on this watch to review it for you guys. It does exist, the AV0020-55A. It's no longer in the archives on the Citizen websites, and it does exist, and I'm probably the only video you're ever going to see on YouTube on this watch talking about it. That's it, guys. I'll see you guys later. More reviews coming. This is one of the watches I wanted to review for a long time, and I finally did it. So this might close off my Citizen watch reviews. I might just close off my Citizen watch review and this high. Not a lot of things Citizen is putting out these days impress me, but look forward to more watches. I'm going to do more luxury watches from Omega, and I do have my eye on a Rolex Submariner one day, so look out for those reviews coming up. But this is a beautiful watch, guys, and I would love to pass this on to someone else. All right, guys, bye.